Boy, oh boy, 12 teams start 10, no tight end premium. We got Travis Kelce, Gabe's boy, Nico Collins up top, but Brandon, do you want that side or do you want Tyler Warren and that 2026 first?
Give me Kelce and Nico.
Let's talk about it.
You got barbecue back there and you didn't invite me. Hurt my feelings.
Welcome in to the All Gas Trade Show. I'm Ty Declare 44. I'm joined with my guy Gabe at iGame_FF on X, and we also got my guy Brandon at the BG-C on X. What is up, good people? Welcome in. Happy Saturday to DDFFB. Yes, we're here to review some trades that happened in the DDFFB Discord this week. And really just to hang out, talk ball, and have a good time here in week 14. So hope you're doing well. If you want more from the community, patreon.com/allgas gets you in the door. ddfantasyfootball.com. You get all the tools you need to dominate your leagues. And if you hang around YouTube, sign up for the Traders and Chill tier. $3.99 a month gets you live access to Dynasty Deal Show, Trinity Show. Hell, you'll probably see Brandon on most shows that get posted anywhere on DD these days. He's everywhere, Gabe, including taking your seat on this show last week. But you're back in here. How are you doing, my friend?
I am doing good, man. I'm doing good. I saw the comments. He, kept the people entertained, and really, that's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. So I appreciate you jumping in, man, and helping Ty too last week, also.
Yeah, Brandon. Gabe was he was messaging me some longingly. Do you still like me? Like,
have I been replaced? Yeah, I said, have I been replaced?
Yeah. How you doing, Brandon?
I'm good. I'm not here to Wally Pip Gabe, but the people, last week I said I hadn't done a show with Gabe. So I figure why not show back up this week? I mean, the people didn't like my JJ McCarthy standing last week on the show. But those playoff seconds, those playoff seconds, I'll take the shot on JJ. I mean, I know that there's for every A-Rich, right? There's still an opportunity. So we'll stay in the opportunity lane.
Well, I'm sure there's gonna be more opportunities for some hot takes, and maybe, I don't know if it's gonna get JJ McCarthy to later on, but we'll see. But what I do know is we got this one here. So Tyler Warren in a 26 first for Kelce and Collins. So it's a 12-team start 10 Superflex non-tight end premium. Brandon, this is the defending champ. They fell out of the playoffs with very little draft capital. Sold Nico to reload a wee bit. So talk to me here. So you said you want the Nico Collins and Kelce side over Warren in the 26th first. I'm assuming the format has something to do with that.
Just a little bit. The non-tight end premium kind of, I get it. The comments will probably come after me. Kelce could retire. Yeah, he could retire. He's going to get married in, 6 months, and he could ride off into the sunset. And this is Nico for Warren in a first. But, this is chip winning season right now. And the last time I checked, Travis Kelce's still scoring quite a bit of fantasy points. And the 26 first, we don't know with the context, Ty, we don't know where that first is. Could be the 110, could be the 111. That could be a pretty cheap Nico Collins, in my opinion. I'm not trying, I'm not like a Nico Collins wide receiver 1 fan, but I do recognize he's got pretty good production, and so does Kelce. And those are two pretty good options that are going to score me points. The long-term dynasty quote unquote value is within Warren, who's already a top 4 tight end in the 26th first. But if I'm trying to win, why not go for the Kelce and Collins side? I can see it from both ways. It's not a bad deal.
Not a bad deal at all.
Yeah.
So let's go to someone who does see Nico Collins as wide receiver 1 and my man Gabe. So Gabe, talk to me here. Kelce, Collins for Warren in a first.
Yeah, man. This one is really, really good. And I echo what Brandon said, that I truly believe I could go either way with this, right? And so Nico Collins, again, he's definitely picked it up over the last couple of weeks. And Tyler Warren, has just been continuing to do great things over there in Indy, right? And Travis Kelce, to Brandon's point, has looked great. He really looks like a guy who could continue to keep going, man. Again, he's going out there, and he's still the number 2 option for Patrick Mahomes, which is very, very good. Now, I think for me, where it really just kind of break down is really just kind of what the team needs at this point, right? Like if I'm ready to go for it, then I do see a world where I do want Nico Collins and Travis Kelce, right? But I would say for me in the big picture, Tyler Warren for Nico Collins, Ty, like, man, I could see a world where Tyler Warren ends up like, that Trey McBride or like that Brock Bowers type of tight end, right? I mean, because he's starting to kind of pick up steam already there in that regard. And then you're looking at it for a 26 first for Travis Kelce. And I don't know anybody who's wanting to really pay a 26 first for Travis Kelce, especially with everything that he's got going on as far as his age factor. To Brandon's point, maybe he does retire, right? I just don't know that anybody's really wanting to pay that. So again, from a production standpoint, absolutely Nico Collins, Travis Kelce. However, if in Zebra's case, like I'm not looking to win right now, I do think I really like that Tyler Warren at 26 first side, man.
Yeah, because I'm sitting there and I'm trying to do the math, right? Like, all right, so if it's like a 2-point tight end premium, it'd be like Warren and Nico, and I'd want Warren over Nico. If it's like a 1.5, like they're probably pretty even. In a no tight end premium, like I'll lean Nico Collins there, right? I'll give him the edge. And like you said, Gabe, ain't no one sending their first for Kelce, even in 2026, where apparently every first is just
horrible.
A 301. So it is what it is, right? But what I wanted to, I guess, just to think about here, right, is let's say that first is like 112. I think we can all agree on the Nico side, but if that first has a chance to be like a top 6 pick, like if it can miss the playoffs, I think that Warren in the first side up a lot of juice, like a lot of juice. So I like both sides here. I can see it. I think a little more context would push us all probably one direction. Based on my math, I need to go Warren in a first, but I like the Nico side and the non-tight end premium as well. But I'll stand Warren in a first until proven otherwise.
Yeah. I mean, and honestly, that probably means that it's a pretty damn good deal, right? If you can go either way on it. And so, really it's just, are you competing right now? No? Great. Give me the other side. If you are, then all right, I can definitely talk myself out of it, right? What I was going to mention though, before we jump to the next trade, right, is there a world where you can try to replace the production of, because I do think Tyler Warren, Nico Collins going to outscore Tyler Warren, right? But the gap is probably not too far off, right? Especially depending on the weeks. Do you think you could replace similar value to maybe what Kelce can give you with that first at that wide receiver position to really kind of bridge that gap, right? So, and stay relatively young, I guess is really the question.
Yeah, I think it depends. I would say it depends on where the first lands, because that'll dictate how high you could make the ask. Like if it's a mid first, like let's just say it's like 104, 105, how much more do I have to add to get to like Rashee Rice? Or even, or maybe go a step down and maybe get Ladd McConkey. Yeah. Because that's probably a more obtainable, if it's like a late first, like you're probably in like T. Higgins land.
Could you get like AJ Brown?
I mean, you might have to throw a third in there to get it done. But again, this team, Zebra Fan Club, if I remember correctly, he doesn't have any draft capital. So like you're really only leveraging that singular first, and he probably would have to give up another piece of whatever he's trying to use to get to that piece. And his T. Higgins or, I would probably, if he's trying to get younger, I would probably try to lean towards younger wide receiver assets, or even, is there a way to maybe pivot a different direction? Could I get Cam Scatterbo and a plus? Because he's not worth a straight up singular first in that format. Maybe he's, just a little bit, just to diversify and keep like cascade it to like Cam and a third. Now I've got Warren and Scatterbo and a third for Kelce and Nico. Now it feels like a smash. Yeah. Something to that effect. It doesn't necessarily have to be a young wide receiver. It could be a running back.
Yeah. And that's kind of where I was going with it too, right? Like at the end of the day, and again, because AJ Brown, and he's just the name that we just love to kind of toss around, right? Because he's just a fantastic producer. And I know you actually talked about him, Brandon, earlier on Bet and Sweat. So, definitely make sure to check that out as well. But, just one of those guys where he could give you very much Nico Collins-esque production, if not maybe even a little bit more on some weeks for that single first. And then if you're sitting here telling me AJ Brown and Tyler Warren for Nico and Kelce, it's not even close. Yeah. And so again, just kind of tossing that idea out there of like, what could you do with that first? I do agree with both of you. It takes And a lot of it is going to be contingent upon where that first is lands.
Yeah. The more I sit with this, even in a non-tight end premium, I just want Warren in the first, man. I can do so much more with that side. Even though I'm not losing that tight end with Kelce. Yeah, just give me Warren in the first. Good job, Zebra. Yeah, you kicked ass in the first one. So always good to get us started like that. Going to Nick Breezy. 12 team start, 10 super flex, PPR 0.5 tight end premium, and a 0.1 point per carry. So let's stop blocking out the names here, people. Diaz is going to have a conniption if we keep blocking out the names on here. But one side of this deal, we got Brock Bowers and Travis Etienne. The other side, I see a 26 first. I see a 27 first. I see 2 seconds, 1 in 26 and 1 in 27, and a fourth. Nick Breezy's team, right on the edge of the playoffs. He got his first Bowers share. So 26 first is a playoff pick. The 26 second is mid. The 27 first and second were his, given back to him to set up a tank. And it feels like it was worth it. No, Gabe, we talk about these deals and how important it is when you're giving someone else their first back. You got to make it hurt a little bit. It has to be worth it for you to make that move and give up that leverage. Pretty nice leverage to get back there in Brock Bowers and just getting Travis Etienne on the arm too.
I mean, this is damn near a free Travis Etienne if you want to. I mean, if we're really going to sit here and kind of talk about that, right? I mean, you're going to give this guy his first back, which I completely understand. You definitely want to make sure that they feel it a little bit, right? I mean, you got to make them pay a little bit, but damn, you made that man pay a lot to get that first back. And again, I mean, Ty Brandon, that's Jeremiah Smith on the other side right there. Well, who knows, right? But yeah, man, I would send that entire package right there for Brock Bowers straight up.
Yeah. I mean, Travis Etienne, it shouldn't be the worst kind of got a tack on the arm and get tossed into a deal. I don't mind that, but Brandon, I mean, yeah, 2 firsts, even those liquid gold 2027 firsts. I still think I want to have the Brock Bowers of it all in a deal like this.
Can you bring back up the context?
Gotcha.
Just
yeah.
For
12 teams with flex PPR, half point tight end premium, 0.1 PPC. There's your context.
So he's 26 first, a playoff first. So he's setting up a tank. So I'm assuming that Nick Breezy's trying to contend.
Yep, he's right on the edge of the playoffs, so he's probably trying to get in.
Man, I struggle with this one. I don't know why I am. I legit it's not that I value the picks, it's what I can do with them.
Yeah.
And so that's where I'm struggling with this whole situation is I'm assuming this is lineup. So if this was best ball, this would be a really hard deal to pull the trigger on. Being honest, being transparent, that's a lot of capital. I get it. Brock Bowers is probably worth every single penny of it, but that's a lot of draft capital. 5 for 2. And really it's 5 for 1.5 because Etienne is not always he's week in, week out. He's not he's not a horse. Yeah. He's no different. He's no different than any other RB2. So you're really paying for Brock Bowers and you're paying almost 3 first value, which, is that the way you want to store the value, which, in a 1.5 tight end premium, maybe it is. Ty's saying, yeah.
Ty's absolutely.
That's what I
absolutely. Yeah, that's what he wants to do.
So I'm trying to I'm not trying to play the other side the whole time tonight, but that's where I'm sitting. I'm probably leaning in the Bowers Etienne camp because it's lineup and I don't have to worry about that tight end spot. But that's a lot of draft capital, and I could probably do a lot of things to shore up some of my other spots in a 12 by 10. That's just the caveat is if he misses the playoffs, what's the fallout? Then what do you do? Then what is your backup plan? Because now you're stuck with this Etienne. I mean, it's not bad to get stuck with Brock Bowers, but now you don't have any draft capital to improve the team. Unless he's got 7 first, 527 first, 18 more picks, and it really doesn't matter, and he's just burning capital like it's toilet paper. Then sure, but we don't have that context to this.
Right. And I agree. There's a lot of picks, and you can do a lot with that, right? 2 first, 2 seconds, a fourth. You can go and buy a premium player plus and that's literally what Nick Breezy did. And I think it does come down to how do you want to build your teams in a specific league? Like, how do you want to attack things? How do you want to construct? I know for me, I like to have bully tight end rooms. I want to beat you over the head with tight end because I feel like I can, if especially in the right leagues, I can find enough flex starters to really make it so I don't have to have the best wide receivers and the deepest rooms elsewhere if I can have my tight end straight. I like having Brock Bowers. I think he's a difference maker. I like getting Etienne. Like, yes, he is not a running back one. I don't want to hold my dynasty value at running back, but if I can lock in a secured role and someone who's going to have work next year, that's really useful for me in a 12 by 10. So yeah, I agree though, man. Like if you're telling me that 27 first, 26 first, like if I could get Rashee Rice and Woody Marks, or like if I can do something else with that I think can move my team forward more than Bowers and Etienne, well, I'd much rather explore that. But this with what's it presented us right now, yeah, give me Bowers and Etienne.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with taking the Bowers, right? Because ultimately, at the end of the day, if you have to pivot off of Bowers, you know what the price, like your league knows what the price tag is, right? It's going to be at least 2 first plus. So 100%. It's not the worst asset to have. It's just one of those, like, I'm just like thinking like, what happens if this isn't enough to push you into the playoffs? Then what do you do? Because you've already used the escape hatch to, your get out of jail free card to go liquidate into the elite asset. So hopefully this is enough to get you into the playoffs and make some noise.
100%. Okay, let's move on here to let's go to Sandiford. This is one, Gabe, you call it spicy. So
oh yeah,
12 team, start 11 super flex. It's a late first, early second. Let's go win the championship, says T. So T got JSN and Chuba Hubbard, the Canadian King, Chuba Hubbard. Sent away Justin Jefferson, a 26 first. Again, should be late, and an early 26 second. Man, yeah, I agree. This is a little spicy. 12 by 11. JSN and Chuba for Jefferson, a first and a second. Talk to me.
I mean, this is fantastic, man. Like, this is a deal where I think it's a very difficult pill to swallow if you're T, right, in some regard, because you are giving up Justin Jefferson, who in football, NFL terms, not fantasy terms, is considered to be the best wide receiver in football, and like rightfully so. It's just the quarterback situation is a very, 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 very big question mark. And so right now, to Brandon's point earlier, we're in point scoring season, man. People are trying to win championships right now. We're getting ready to roll into the first week of the playoffs for a lot of teams or a lot of leagues. And so right now it's like, what are you doing for me right now? And the beauty of it is that Jackson Smith-Njigba he's younger than Jefferson too, so I know a lot of people like to kind of look at that from a, age perspective. Also, it's like, this guy is playing so damn good right now. So damn good. Sam Darnold really has elevated that offense, especially Jackson, because everything is so funneled, so, consolidated to Jackson Smith-Njigba right now, where, I could definitely understand why somebody would want to pay this, right? Do I think it's a little expensive? Yes. Right. Could we have a different conversation in a couple of months when the offseason hits and maybe Minnesota addresses the quarterback position? Sure. Yeah, we probably can, but if you're putting an extra, $1,000 in my pocket because I just won the championship, then I'm cool with, packing their bags. Right. And so Chuba in a second for me, Ty. I'm probably still going to take Chuba, especially now that he's taken back the role over Rico Dowdle. Jackson Smith for Justin Jefferson in a first. It's a little expensive, but I think I want to take Jackson Smith, man.
It's expensive is the word, man.
Yeah.
Happy we're all there on Chuba. Welcome back to the clubhouse, everyone. We went away for a little bit there. King. We had Rico had his moment in the sun, but the clock's right twice a day, even on a broken one. So, I agree, man. Jefferson in a first. That's pretty hefty, but it's a late first, right?
Yep.
And those are a means to an end. So, Brad, I want to hear you here. Jefferson, a late first and early second for JSN and Chuba in a 12 by 11.
And 2 weeks ago, this is a smash. This is Jefferson the first and the second. Like, honestly, it's 2 weeks ago. And then JJ McCarthy has two pretty poor games. And the sentiment has changed on Jefferson quite. Like, it feels like he's went from being in that tier one conversation to everybody's like, well, he's like no different than like T. Higgins. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, he's still getting the elite opportunity. The problem is the quarterback play has not caught up, has not aligned with the opportunity. Like, if you go look at our Trinity, ddfantasyfootball.com, like Ray even says it, like the opportunity's there. The quarterback play is just garbage. That's abysmal. What it is. Like, it's just abysmal. It's just not, it's not acceptable. And it's dragging down Jefferson's production, which is ultimately in the day trading part of Dynasty. It is dragging down Jefferson's value as well. Like, yes, JSN is, young, but I mean, just Jefferson's what, 27? Last time I checked, like, he hasn't even turned 30 yet. Like, what are we doing here when we talk about age? Like, I don't think the age thing is I think we could take the age thing out of the situation. It's nothing against you, Gabe. I think for me with Jets, he just needs stability at the quarterback position to stabilize what his trade value is. So I think, as much as I want the Jefferson, the first and the second side, like, I can't take that because it's a falling knife when it comes to his dynasty value. Like, what's to say JJ McCarthy goes out there tomorrow afternoon and goes and throws another 2 interceptions. 9 turns into, 0.9 QBR. And then what? Now we're all of a sudden like, you can't even make this deal. Right? Like, you would probably, like, let's just say Jefferson goes out there tomorrow and puts up 2 for 35, 3 for 46, no touchdown. What else do you got to add to get to this? At least another playoff burst, right? Minimum.
I mean, that's pretty much kind of what he's been posting every week, right? I mean, 2 for 4, 4 for 48, 5 for 61, 4 for 37. No touchdowns in any of those games, right?
Like,
so,
and we're going into the playoffs, right? So now people begin to panic more. Like, that's like, I don't want to say like there's a side that wins, but like, you just look at this deal and like, this is how Dynasty shifts so fast in season, is because Jefferson can go out and put one more poor game, because JSN did not have a good game last week. We can all agree, like 2 for 23 is not a good game, but he's afforded the luxury because the Seahawks are winning and Sam Darnold's dealing still. Yeah. Whereas JJ McCarthy has 2 bad games and they look absolutely miserable. And Jefferson is now on the, he's 1 game away from this needing an additional half round of value just to even be in the conversation. So the heck with, I would even say this is probably the price for JSN and it's a free Chuba. I would even argue that, because I think that's probably closer to where we're talking, not Chuba for a second. I think it's Jets for almost 2 firsts for JSN, because that's the way the dynasty market is playing right now. Like, if I'm Terrell, I'm loving this because I didn't have to pay the full freight. Like, I got almost full credit for where Jefferson was 2 weeks ago, not where he's at right now. Even though he's wide receiver 7 on KTC.
I'll tell you what, Terrell's loving it. This final JJ share. Dude just isn't elite with the absolute trash situation at quarterback in Minnesota. His words, not mine. Don't come at me, JJ McCarthy.
I'll say this much. He's still elite. The situation is just poor. And
I agree with that.
And I think I think it's sometimes for us in fantasy is really hard for us to disseminate. The guy is still elite. The opportunity is still there. The production just isn't being matched right now because the quarterback play is rough. And we've seen this happen throughout a lot of different offensive situations where, were we not saying that AJ, we all were saying AJ Brown was really good. The quarterback situation just wasn't good to start the season. Now, all of a sudden, Jalen Hurts realized, hey, AJ Brown's over there. And now in the last 3 weeks, he's had 7 catches, 8 catches, 10 catches. Like, so what happened? Did AJ Brown just mystically find like the fountain of youth in Germany, or
yes, he did. That's exactly what happened. Yeah.
It was actually in Canada, I believe. It was in Canada.
I just
Harrison Hot Springs.
And I think that sometimes can drive trade negotiations, right? When we start to think in a conversational, like, Justin Jefferson's not good. He's not good now because, he's not elite now because, JJ McCarthy's trash. And it's like, well, just because JJ McCarthy's playing bad right now doesn't mean that Justin Jefferson's bad. The last time I checked, he's still running the routes fine. Like, it's just the opportunity's not matching what we're seeing on the field. It just stinks because there's a lot of people who bought into Jefferson.
Yeah. It's a stark reminder that everything has to go right in the offense to find these elite and difference-making and league-winning outcomes, right? And these things can change week over week. Like JSN, like he had a non-elite week, and he will probably continue to have some weeks that aren't elite. So we have to live with that. What I don't want to do, and again, I'm going to preface this by saying the way T has presented, let's go win a championship. He is in it to win it 12-11. I bet Chuba and JSN are the crown jewel that pushes team across the line here. So I'm cool with it. What I don't want to do in a 12-11 or even in a shallow league, man, is like, I don't want to make this deal where I shove Jefferson a first and a second together to get up to JSN. And then next year I send JSN in my late first and something to go get Chase. And then next year, if Chase sprains an ankle, I send Chase in my first. Like, I don't want to keep chasing my tail just to have that like elite tier wide receiver every year and keep making these kind of deals. So this is a specific bet I have to make on my team right now. In the aggregate, I like the structure of what Seen Reaper did here, getting the Jets, knowing that at some point the expectations will come around, like the steam will come back. And Jefferson will be Jefferson, and he'll be seen as an elite wide receiver. And maybe you had some time to work with that first and a second, and then something could happen. But all that being said,
we could
give me JSN, give me Chuba.
I mean, in 6 months, the Seattle Seahawks could go draft a wide receiver that goes alongside JSN, and all of a sudden, like, we're having the questions of whether or not JSN can retain his wide receiver one seat. Like, he is having a historically good season. Like, we can all agree on this, like, all on screen, we all can agree this is a historically good season. And not to say that I don't want to play the game of can he repeat, because we do this every year with players. Can they repeat? Can they repeat? And then they do it and you're like, well, crap, now they are. And it's like, sometimes the environment can change a little bit and it tweaks just a little bit where maybe JSN isn't wide receiver 1, but he's still wide receiver 3 overall. And that's still really, really good. But you're not, maybe Seen Reaper is just cashing out at the top. And he's like, what? I don't even need Chuba. Like, I'm trying to rebuild a little bit. Let me take this tier down. And hey, Terrell, here's Chuba Hubbard. I don't really need him, but he's going to be more valuable to you down the stretch because you're trying to win the chip.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like Gabe said, $1,000 in the pocket makes a lot of deals feel a lot better. So, if you win that championship, who's better than UT? But yeah, good luck with that one. I wonder what the people want. Do you want Chuba and you want JSN, or do you want Justin Jefferson the first and an early 26 second? Let's stick with the Jefferson theme. We'll head over to Lee here. Lee and a tie declare 44.
Wouldn't be an all gas trade show without a tie.
I'm not gonna beat these allegations of me getting they keep posting in the chat, and I'll say I get it on. They post in the chat, so it's whatever. So Multiverse, Brandon, you remember Multiverse? 12-team best ball, super flex, IDP. So it's basically start 10 offense, and then start 6 defense, 5 like defense. All sorts of bonuses, too many to list because it's a DD league, of course. 1.5 tight end premium, 0.5 PPR. Lee is a contending team pushing in all of his chips and needed quarterback. Me and my pal Ty getting another one done literally right before the Andrews extension news came through. So Lee had the inside information on Andrews. So my Multiverse team, it fell apart, not winning it this year. So I'm trying to retool all those good rewords. I sent away Tyrod Taylor, that man Justin Jefferson, David Montgomery, Mike Evans, and Mark Andrews. I got into Tyler Warren, Oronde Gadsden, Kyler Murray, and a 2026 third. This is best ball, shallow benches, fairly shallow league. But the big play scoring really leads to those difference-making weeks making differences here. So, Brandon, you were in this one, man. How do you feel in Multiverse in a deal like this?
Knowing how this league is, knowing the activity league can be high at times, and this one's interesting because it is best ball, right? So I initially lean Lee's side. Shout out to Lee. But man, like there's You just look at this team and like you could tell yourself the story. The left side of that lease trade, Evans, Montgomery, and Taylor. Like, what is that even going to do for you in 26? Like, it could be just, yeah, man. I'm trying to lean in on like it's a 5 for 3. It's great, and then it's like, oh, Mike Evans can't stay on the field for more than 7 games a season now.
Tyrod Taylor's
like he's back up. Monty's ceding touches to Gibbs by the second. Andrews only has 2 games with 40 receiving yards on the season. And we just talked about Jefferson ad nauseum. And you get Kyler Murray, who Lord knows when he's going to play quarterback again, because apparently his foot just something's wrong with it that's going to take 12 weeks to heal. We don't even know.
Allegedly, he's going to go back and play baseball, is what I heard.
Yeah, allegedly.
And then you get Call of Duty-itis.
Yeah, there you go.
And then you got two tight ends in Gadsden and Warren, who both are still desirable assets, even though both have maybe underperformed the last month or so. Like Gadsden had a nice little peak there, and then he kind of petered off. Same thing with Warren, as the Colts offense has gotten a little less efficient over the last few weeks with Daniel Jones being hurt. Like, I could see both sides, man. Like, you're probably like, I'm not contending. My team just looks old and decrepit in some spots. Let me put all these things together in a bet. This is like a prototypical best ball deal, right? It's like, let me throw this really shiny asset over here in Justin Jefferson. It looks okay. And let me put all this lipstick over here on it. And it looks pretty all over again, but it's really like a Trojan horse. Like, you're just rolling it up to Lee, like, hey, look, you got this starting quarterback, and you've got got Mike Evans coming back, and look, Mark Andrews, he scored well against the worst team against tight ends. Like, look.
Ty over here put lipstick on a pig and was like, "Here you go."
Yeah, like, and then you start, like, a couple weeks later after the rain has hit it, and it's like, oh man, is this really what I bought? Like, I'm not saying he's gonna have buyer's remorse. Like, if Lee, again, Gabe, if $1,000 goes into your pocket in a month, does it really matter?
Not at all.
Does it really matter that you picked up Tyrod Taylor? Like, nobody's gonna care. Like, that's why I don't think there's a winner in this deal. Like, he's clearly pushing the chips in. He's hoping that these dudes can stay healthy for 3 more weeks. Ty over here is just like, as long as Kyler comes back before the year 2030, I got 2 young tight ends in a 3rd round pick. I don't care.
Oh yeah. I mean, let me ask. I think it's a +1 tight end premium, right? I know it's 1.5 total, but +1 from the half PPR. Are y'all taking Tyler Warren or Justin Jefferson 1-for-1?
Justin Jefferson. I'm still taking Justin Jefferson.
Yeah. I mean, do I think Warren's really good? Yes, but I don't have him. He's not in that Brock Bowers, Trey McBride tier yet. I mean, he can easily get there, but I don't think most people have him there yet. And I don't think that people will be comfortable enough in saying Tyler Warren over Justin Jefferson just yet. I think the uncomfortable statement is saying Tyler Warren over Justin Jefferson. Yeah. But I don't think it's there yet, but it could be by the end of the season.
And so what about Gadsden for Mark Andrews? I'd imagine we're taking Gadsden, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Could be. Brandon looks like he could go either way with that.
I could tell myself a story either way. Mark Andrews is still okay, and he's tied to Lamar.
I want whatever story you're reading. I want Gadsden over Andrews.
That's fine. You can have that. I'm just saying, like, likely he's a free agent, and there's no reason to think that Mark Andrews can't. I'm not saying like Mark Andrews is tight end 4 for crying out loud. I ain't going that far. I'm not that crazy, but I still think in a best ball format, he's going to probably produce just as many weeks as Gadsden will. And he's probably more affordable than Gadsden.
Yeah. I mean, that's interesting. For me, I'm taking Kyler over. I don't even like Kyler, but I'm taking Kyler over Evans, Montgomery,
and Taylor. I'll throw in Tyler.
Yeah. I was going to say, and Tyrod Taylor. I'm just going to gamble with Kyler and hope that he can become. I mean, we've seen him be great. Maybe if he can just come back and be a serviceable quarterback for another team. He probably will not be in Arizona next year, and could be for the best. It could be for the best, right? And so, yeah, I'm going to take Kyler over Mike Evans, Montgomery, and Taylor. So then that Warren, Gadsden, Jefferson, Andrews, and it just kind of depends on what you think. And I think it's a good deal, man. I think I'm going to lean Ty side, though, just from a youth perspective, because I do think that of all the assets, to Brandon's point a second ago, Warren, Gadsden, and Kyler, in my mind, outside of Jefferson, have the most runway to ascend in value again. And again, because I do believe Kyler can come back next year on a new team and hopefully be good.
The way I was breaking it down when I went through this was, I want Jefferson over Warren, but I want Kyler over Tyrod, and I'm not getting Gadsden for Andrews, Monty, and Evans mushed together. There's a third in there somewhere, but in best ball, this is how this happens, right? Contending roster, retooling roster, getting 5 legitimate people that can enter your lineup when Evans is back, for some hope and prayers at tight end, a quarterback who's not going to start for the rest of the year in a third, right? It makes sense for what we're both doing. For me, I'm trying to open up my window, build it through construction, and Lee is trying to score an S ton of points. So I get it from both sides. I guess I'll take the side that I got in the trade because that's why I did the trade.
I would hope so.
But
yeah.
Well, and I think also a sneaky theory part to what Ty did. Ty, what else you got? Since you're here, we can ask the context. Ty, what else you got in that tight end room other than Warren and Gadsden?
Let's see.
And not to put you on the spot, but while I talk through this point, what I'm thinking in my head is, now you don't, from a roster construction perspective, you don't need any other tight ends. You got Warren and Gadsden. You're making the bet. Those two, one of those two every single week is going to hit your lineup. You don't need to be rostering the Daniel Bellingers, the Noah Fants, the Greg Dulciches of the world, where you're waiting for one of them to possibly hit in a flex. Like, you've got the 2 dudes you want, which means you can use and roster allocate somewhere else, whether that's running back, wide receiver, whenever you're ready to compete, because you just threw all the old guys out the door. Like, you will have extra roster spots now to take in new darts in a different position to try and build the team a slightly different way. Like, that's what I was thinking. It's like, there's also a construction aspect to all of this too.
No, you nailed it. Because I was rolling Andrews and Kelce for 2 years in this league and felt fine about it. Right. I've shipped those 2 out in deals. Now I have, Warren and Gadsden. I happen to have Darnell Washington, Luke Musgrave, and Dawson Knox sitting there. But you're right, Brandon. Those guys are probably going to get cut or moved in a deal if I can get any kind of value for them, because that gives me the flexibility. Having those tight ends means that I can roster some extra darts elsewhere in a best ball format. So agreed. But again, we ain't here to talk about me. We are here to talk about that man, Justin Jefferson. So Brandon, you made me pull up my all my stuff. So now I got to get the trade database on Dynasty that he pulled back up here. But I want to put you in the hot seat, my friend. You did so well.
Well, all right.
This
all right. I mean,
this segment is slowly becoming just trigger Vikings fans. But what I want to do, I
brought
want
to you
put
by the people of DD Fantasy Football. We don't have a sponsor yet, but we've got the trigger seat.
Yeah. Brought to you by the Purple People Eaters and Grape Flavor. So 40 seconds on the clock. I'm just going to hit you with some trades here, all involving Justin Jefferson, less than 4 assets in the deal, or 4 or less assets. Let's assume it's a 12 by 10 super flex. Okay.
Got it.
Are you ready?
Let's go. Let's have some fun.
Hands and feet in the vehicle. Let's do it. Marvin Harrison and a 26 first, or Justin Jefferson?
Marvin the first.
Jefferson and a first, or Rashee Rice and Jordan Addison?
Jefferson side.
JSN, or Jefferson and Sam Laporta?
JSN.
Jefferson or Brian Thomas Jr. in the 26 first?
Jefferson.
Jefferson or AJ Brown and Bucky Irvin?
AJ and Bucky.
Baker Mayfield and Justin Jefferson, or Rashee Rice and Patrick Mahomes?
Give me the Chiefs.
Jefferson and a 27 first or Jahmyr Gibbs?
Gibbs.
Okay.
All right.
I was a little more split. I was a little more split this week. Last week I leaned all the way in.
So homer, yeah.
I mean, here's the thing.
He's a Vikings fan. It's confirmed. He's not a Giants fan anymore.
Yeah, because there's going to be some people that are going to say, why did you take Marv in a first and not BTJ in a first? Here's the thing. It's like Marv, when he's on the field this season, has produced. The problem with Marv this year right now is he hasn't produced. Look at last week with Jacoby Brissett. He was well on his way to 10, 15 catches and got hurt. You know what I mean? Like BTJ, we have beaten that horse. It feels like all season long. Like
he's just doing cardio out there.
Yeah, like I'm not saying like BTJ is a bad asset, but like if I'm saying BTJ is like even in the T Higgins range, it's like T Higgins in a first or Justin Jefferson. Like I would much rather just hang on to Jefferson and hold on to some hope that JJ McCarthy improves just a little bit to the point where people are not ready to dump Jefferson for whatever.
Yeah. Any deals that went over there, Gabe, that you wanted to chat about real quick?
Man, I thought, a lot of them were pretty, I think I agreed with B on a lot of them. I will say, I think it's really savvy though, if you can still get a guy like Rashee Rice for your Justin Jefferson, like trying to see if you can make those pivots, even if it is just laterally. Like those are some really, really savvy deals, especially right now with the way that team is playing. Again, Rashee Rice being the number one target. I do like the Marvin Harrison in a first for Justin Jefferson side. So I agree with B, AJ Brown and Bucky for Justin Jefferson. Again, AJ Brown's been playing fantastic. So no, I think a lot of those I pretty much kind of leaned on the same side as Brandon.
I mean, that Bucky and AJ Brown one 2 weeks ago is a slam dunk Jefferson.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh, well, because Bucky wasn't producing. Bucky was hurt and AJ Brown was just barely producing. And now look, 2 weeks, like that to me is more than any other thing that we're looking at with any of these trades. There is no winners and losers. Just identify how fast the dynasty market moves in your league and try to seize on those edges. Like, we were talking inside the Discord a couple weeks ago about trading for Devin Etienne. And now it's like the popular thing to do is go trade for Etienne. Like I've seen it happen. Like go trade for Etienne. And we're like, we were already trading Bijan for Etienne in a second. Like sometimes you just have to see the move coming before it's too late. So if you, like you said, Gabe, if you can get to Rashee Rice before Justin Jefferson has another, fantasy clunker, you better do it now, because if not, by Monday, the price is different.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. We have beaten the Vikings to death. So I hope
I'm not coming on next week to talk about TJ Hawkinson. It's not happening. You can't make me.
We will be here to talk Hawkinson, but you let us know. What are you doing with your Jefferson? I saw a lot of nice deals that you can still get done, or some nice pivots if you're looking for a tear down into Jefferson. If you want to make that bet on the Vikings, on J-Jets, on anything there. So go have some fun. Let us know what you're doing in the comments below. Guys, we're like over 40 minutes into this show. We got to pick up the pace a little bit. We're just having a laugh here. So let's get to Anthony Dubb. 12 team, start 11, super flex, PPR. It's a 0.5 tight end premium, I'm assuming, and lineup. The 26 first is 102. So I see CeeDee Lamb and Chase Brown on one side, and I see 102, 227 first, and a 2027 second on the other. Brandon, we talked about, JSN for Jefferson in a first. We've seen a bunch of first round in these deals. These wide receiver tier ups are happening here, man. 2 of those liquid gold 2027 first and the 102 and a 27 second for CeeDee Lamb and Chase Brown. What do you do in a 12 by 11?
That's a lot of draft capital, man.
Mm-hmm.
And even the 102
premium.
Like 102, like if someone's just not paying attention, that could be Jeremiah Love. Like, or it's the wide receiver 1 out of this class, which is probably going to be a top 10 NFL pick. Like, you're getting that kind of asset plus 22 first plus a second. Like, again, have no problem paying for CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah.
But that is a lot of premium. Like, you better have a plan if this thing goes sideways quick. That's all I'm gonna like. It's probably gonna be the theme of the night. Like, what is your plan if this doesn't work? If this lean in doesn't work, what are you going to do? What do you do long term? Like, are you just gonna stick with CeeDee Lamb because it's not a bad asset to be stuck with, but you're gonna probably feel a little rough if the old Seabass 49-51 takes your 3 picks and turns it into 3 assets that people want come mid-May, June.
And you know what they say about old Seabass. All right, Gabe. So he has Caleb, T-Law, Dart, Genty, Harvey, Hendo, Hampton, now Chase Brown, JSN, Rice, Ibuka, Odunze, Hunter, Wandale, and now Lamb, Bowers, McBride, and so
my goodness,
stacked team.
Yeah. Right? You didn't give me that context. You just left.
I know.
You had to protect Gabe. I see what this is.
Yeah.
All right, it's all love here.
It's a big conspiracy. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
But no, I mean, talk to me, Gabe. Like, this would be the context where it would make sense maybe to push in this kind of value into a guy like a CeeDee and a Chase Brown.
I mean, look, I'm going to back up Brandon, all right, for a second here. Without that context, I probably would have leaned the exact same way as far as the draft capital, right? Because, again, maybe not right now. And I think we've talked about it before on different shows where right now is not the best time to be moving your draft capital, right? Because, again, at the end of the day, everybody stinks in 2026. It's a horrible class, blah, yada, yada, yada. We say it every year. And again, whether we mean it or not, it's just that's part of the conversation that happens right now. And next thing you know, in February, March, it's like, wow, these players are the best things since sliced bread, right? It happens all the time. And so I think without that context, I do agree with Brandon that it is a lot of premium draft capital that you are giving up. And yes, CeeDee Lamb is incredible in his own right. And again, Chase Brown has been very good, especially with the changing quarterback and everything there. And now Joe Burrow being back. And so we'll see, right? I mean, we'll see what that offense continues to look like. But now that you've added in the context, I mean, dude, there's no way that I wouldn't want to push in to get myself into CeeDee Lamb. I mean, you've got damn near you have the 2 best tight ends. You've got damn near the 2 best wide receivers in fantasy football. I mean, you've got damn near the 2 best running backs. I mean, like, everything in this team is just so high end and so top heavy. Like, yeah, man, just push it in and just go win a championship. Even if it is an expensive pay, like, it's not like these guys are going to be disintegrated off your team next year. You're still going to want CeeDee Lamb next year. You can continue to rock and roll with your Jackson Smith and Jigba, Rashee Rice, Brock Bowers, Trey McBride next year. You're going to be just fine.
The only thing I would say is, now looking at that context, if you want to bring it back up, Ty, like, do you need to add Chase Brown to this deal? Can you get away with the 26 102 and maybe a 20, then maybe the 220-27 first? Like, maybe you just pay the 3 first for CeeDee and call it a day. Like, in hindsight, right? Now looking back at the deal, because, like, when are you gonna, in a 12-by-11, when are you starting Chase Brown?
When Hendo's on bye week this specific week.
Like, this is like that's and even then, are you even starting him over? Are you going to start him over RJ Harvey and Genty? Like, that's a tough, and what happens if Hendo does is, as we record this and as this is posted, like, we're still not going to know the full situation on Amari and Hampton. Like, yeah. He may not even need to use Chase Brown. So now he just bought a luxury piece. Like, he just bought the air freshener in the car, and he doesn't even have to take it out of the plastic. He just go return it, because it's like, I'm never gonna use it. It's just thanks for the buy one get one free, but I only got 1 car. Like, I don't need to use this thing. Like, that would be my only, like, if I'm spending capital like this, and Scott says this a lot, like, I want to make sure that I'm getting things that are going to start in my lineup at this point in the season. And looking at that roster, my only pushback to ATH Rilla, like, is Chase Brown going to really start in your lineup because of all of the premium assets you have?
Yeah, I think we've talked about it before too, but I think at this point now you have to really look at the roster and see how you can liquidate some of the assets, to your point, that are not in that starting lineup, right? Obviously, again, Chase Brown is probably one of those. So you're right. Did we have to get Chase Brown included in that deal? Who knows, right? I mean, we won't know. But if we look back at that team, maybe you do start to move one of the wide receivers, right? Maybe you do start to move one of the extra quarterbacks to just get maybe just more of a serviceable one where you're not having to hold so much dynasty value. I know Ty and I talk about it sometimes too, where trying to alleviate those lineup headaches, man. I know going back and forth, and it's like, damn, do I start Omarion Hampton? Do I start Genty? Or do I start? And it's like, just know there's going to be weeks where you're going to be wrong, having all of these guys in your lineup. There's going to be weeks once all of them are fully healthy and ready to go. There's going to be weeks where Omarion Hampton outscores Genty, and you're like, shit, I started Genty, and vice versa. Oh, I started Hampton this week. Genty's the one who popped off on my bench, right? So there is definitely something to kind of know about, like wanting to start to move some of these assets and just get liquidity for them.
Yep. But no matter how you slice it, you're going to feel pretty nice having CeeDee Lamb on the squad there. And I hope that you can get that kind of a return for CD at any point, even on a stacked team like this. So good job, Anthony. Yeah, no context. The picks are pretty spicy, but I like it for you. Dr. B. Harris, the good doctor, got one on the show this week. 12 die, 11 superflex lineup, 6-point passing touchdown. So Doc sent away Matthew Golden, Brock Purdy, a 26 first belonging to him, and 2/3. He got Matt Stafford, Devontae Adams, and Christian Watson. Gabe, I vividly remember us talking about Stafford in the offseason and just I mean, we spent seconds on worse. Give me that Stafford. We'd spend up to a first on him. Well, we weren't expecting maybe MVP Stafford, and we weren't expecting red zone RB1 Devontae Adams, essentially just scoring touchdowns anytime he runs a fade route. But talk to me here, man. Purdy, a first, Golden, and 2/3 for Stafford, Adams, and Watson in a 12 by 11 lineup.
Yeah, man. I mean, honestly, again, I think for me, this is still, and I know we're wanting to get through a couple of different trades, so I'll try to make this fast. But, one for one, Ty, I still want, I know that the price is probably a first for Adams. Again, you could probably talk me either which way. But still, from a, youth ADV dynasty value perspective, I still want Brock Purdy over Matt Stafford. Like I do, and Christian Watson for Matthew Golden and 2/3. Like, I'm going to still take the package, man. I'm still going to take the package. Yes, you're giving up a lot of points on the other side. But again, man, a 32-year-old wide receiver, yes, who is a red zone absolute threat every single week, scoring damn near 2 to 3 touchdowns a week. Yes, you want that, absolutely. But I can't disregard the fact that you're still getting the liquidity and you're still getting the better quarterback from a dynasty value perspective, who, again, has maybe had a little bit of a rougher year this year, but he's still very damn good, man. He's still very, very good. And I get the upside chance in Matthew Golden. Maybe someday, hope maybe.
I lean with you there, Gabe. It's Purdy over Stafford, right? Like it just is. Like, just from what I want to do in dynasty. Yes, like I think Stafford could score more points than Purdy for the rest of the year. If that means that he should be valued more for you, it's cool. Adams for the late 26 first. That's my price. Like, that's what I'm looking for. I don't even expect to get a late first for Adams at this point, but if I can get one, sweet. Matthew Golden and 2/3 for Christian Watson. Yeah, that's just give me an upside shot and a couple pieces for someone who was injured and I was just carrying for no value for most this year, as is in Christian Watson. I agree. Brandon, do you see that any differently?
Yeah, because I want Stafford, Adams, and Watson. I want to go win. I want to win. And I think we get sometimes caught up too in the value of all of this. And it's nothing against, that side, the value, but like, what's to say Stafford doesn't play 3 more years? And then what? We're looking back in 3 years and most of our dynasty leagues are gone by then. Maybe even this league is gone by then. Who cares? Like Devontae Adams is still probably producing at least as a goal line fade option for at least another 2 more years. Like he's probably at least, he could be the Larry Fitzgerald of this generation. And then, the risk of Christian Watson's terrible. I mean, he could at any one point his legs are gonna give out. But I mean, what has Matthew Golden really done in his rookie season so far? Not much. So I'm fine with this deal. Like I think, one side gets all the picks and the youth and gets Brock Purdy. The other side wants to go win a chip. So Dr. B, go win the chip.
Yep. It's a good deal. Again, my math says like I should want Sir King Jared Top, but I know but I want the guys that you're sending away. So like I get that on both sides. But what do the people want? Do you want the Purdy package or do you want the go win now Stafford side? You let us know. And someone who also let us know this week, Shepard 87. What's up, man? 12 team start 12, 2 quarterback, 2 tight end PPR, and a 1.25 tight end premium for a 2.25 tight end PPR total and a 0.15 point per carry. Got one done with the man Charles Chill FFB. So Shepard sent away Nico Collins, Javonte Williams, and Emeka Ibuka, and a 26th third. He got Amon-Ra St. Brown, old Charles Chill FFB's 26th first, a 26th first belonging to Block O South, and 2026 second. So Brandon, Shepard bought Javonte before the season for a third, so he feels that's a great return overall for someone that he just bought for cheap. My math was that he traded Ibuka and Javonte for Amon-Ra, and then the 2 late first and an early second for Nico. Is that math the way that you're mathing?
I mean, I would probably say it's Nico for a first, Ibuka and a first for Amon-Ra, like because they're later firsts. I'm gonna say Scott's trying to win, so he's pushing a direction. And then you get Javonte and a third for a second. Maybe a little soft, maybe. But I mean, when you make deals where there's 8 assets involved, like you're probably selling at some level of discount anyway. On either side, there's always kind of like it's like when you go to the grocery store and the more you buy, the more you save. It's kind of like the more assets we throw on this thing, the more haircut we're willing to take, So it's like maybe there's, he traded him, he sold him for a third, like he bought him for a third and was able to get a good second. But yeah, I think Nico for one of the first, Ibuka and a first, because here's the thing is like Ibuka's sliding quickly. He's wide receiver, I think 9 now on KTC. Like he hasn't had 10 point PPR points in like 7 of his last 8 games. Like Amon-Ra clearly produced well on Thursday night, even with one ankle. Granted, it is against the Dallas Cowboys, but was still able to produce like 15.2 PPR fantasy points. Like I see what Scott did, and I see what he tried to lean and make Shepard 87 turn into a direction. Like I think the math is it's the right math. It's just maybe the players just aren't equating to those exact values, but I think it makes sense for both sides.
The more I look at it, the more I can see it from both sides. Because I mean, like Gabe, like Javonte Williams, I don't think I can get a first for him, but like for what he's doing for my team and what he's done for my team this year, that's probably worth about a first to me, like a late 26 first. Ibuka, we know our love for Ibuka. Nico Collins, you are Nico Collins like numero uno. But I don't know if 2 firsts and an early second for Nico is your price in a 12 by 12 today.
It's not, man. It's not, unfortunately. As much as I would love it to be, right? As much as I would love for it to be that. The more, and to your point, the more that I look at it, actually, the more that I kind of want Shepard 87 side of the deal, right? Again, because best asset in the deal is definitely Amon-Ra St. Brown. Very, very, we like Ibuka a lot. And he's the second closest one to Amon-Ra. But to Brandon's point, he's slipping a lot. And again, sure, maybe he has a string of good games and then he's right back up there again. But if we're playing this week to week, right, Amon-Ra has just been great, man. He's been great all year. And so no matter how I slice it. To your point, yes, Javonte is a guy that I would probably want to get a first for, but I probably cannot get a first for. I do think he's worth a little bit more than a second, in my opinion. But for the sake of this, right, I mean, let's kind of look at it, right, where if we were to sit here and say Nico Collins and Javonte for 2 firsts and a second, right? I don't think Nico's quite at that 2 first mark right now. I don't think Javonte's, though, is just at a single second either, right? So can that delta be made up between the 2 gaps? Yeah, I think that probably is pretty close. Nico and Javonte for 2 firsts and the second, right? And then I'm looking at it as Egbuka and a third for Amon-Ra. It's Amon-Ra. I mean, every day, especially on Sundays.
On Chick-fil-A Sundays.
On Chick-fil-A Sundays, absolutely.
Yeah.
I can see what Scott's trying to do. You know, he's trying to get the pieces. You know, he probably wanted the deal. I bet you this deal probably happened before Amon-Ra even played on Thursday.
Yeah.
So Scott was probably like, I want to get off of this Amon-Ra. I don't want to be sitting on this 0. Let me try to pivot. Oh, here we go. Here's Egbuka and Collins. I've got this draft capital for whatever reason. I'm probably in the middle of the road. Let me just lean in. Because we all know how Scott plays. It's either one way or the other. It's not an in-between. He's probably making his final push here. He doesn't want Amon-Ra to be the 0. So here I'm going to go. I'm going to get me my Nico Collins. I'm going to take my replacement value there. I'm going to pay a fair price for, Javonte and a third for one of these firsts. And I'm going to get Egbuka. And I'm going to hope that Javonte lands in a soft spot in 26. Egbuka turns back into what he was at the beginning of the season. And this trade looks really good for Scott's side. If not, Shepard has a ton of flexibility going into the offseason to rebuild this squad.
I think one more thing on this one. So 12 by 12, I like getting multiple players that I can put in the lineup and use right away. And that's exactly what Scott got. Like Nico, Javonte, Egbuka, those are all players he can use. On Shep's side, he got the best player in the deal. And he got 2 firsts and a second, which in a start 2 quarterback, start 2 tight end league, 12 by 12. I feel like I can use those firsts and those seconds to get into those scarcer assets and build out that way. So I think it just depends, what do you want to do with your team? Do you want to split out into multiple bodies and get depth? Do you want to consolidate and build your team in a certain way, in a certain direction, in certain parts of it? So it just depends on what your goal is. I can see it from both sides. Shep got a lot of good value. Scott got a lot of good players. I'll lean Shep's side just because the Amon-Ra of it all. But I'm sure if we knew where those first and seconds were and anything else on there, so we can talk ourselves into either side. What do you want? Do you want Amon-Ra in the picks? Do you want Egbuka, Nico, Javonte, and a third? Let us know. All right. One of these, at least one more. Static. Stop hiding the names, people. Diaz's neck veins out to here right now. 10 team. Super flex, start 10, 0.75 tight end premium. Jamar Chase being acquired for Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, and a third. Brandon, I ain't going to leave you without any context here. He's got May, Mahomes, Stroud, Kirk, Etienne, Hall, Henry, Chuba, Kamara, London, A.J. Brown, and now Chase. Michael Wilson, Worthy, Keon, Cans, Bowers, Kelce, Laporta, Gadsden, mid to late 26 first in the back pocket as well. 10 by 10. Chase or Marv, Neighbors, and a third.
I mean, probably Jamar. And it's because it's 10 by 10 because of the format. If this is like 12 by 11, it's the other way. But anything like 12 by 9, 12 by 10, 10 by 10, 11 by 10, 12 by 8, because we got all those shallower formats, I want the hammer. And it's nothing against Neighbors, but I'll go on record right now. I'm not 100% certain that he starts week 1. I'm just not there yet. Like, delay in that, just a slight delay in that surgery, recovery time. He may be on the field closer to week 1, but is his production going to be there week 1? I don't know that that's going to be the answer. I think that's what people are selling the hopium of. I'm fine with a shallow 10 by 10 taking Chase here.
Yeah. It's the 10 by 10 of it all, isn't it? Isn't it there, Gabe?
Yeah, man. I'm gonna side with Brandon on this one as well. It is Jamar Chase for me. Again, I can tell myself the story of Neighbors and Marvin Harrison Jr. when they do get back. Again, I do think that, to Brandon's point, Marv is doing well, man. When he's on the field, he's doing all the things that you want. Obviously, that's with Jacoby Brissett right now, and who knows what that situation looks like next year. But yeah, and Malik was great, but I still think it's Jamar Chase, man. It is Jamar Chase.
When I see a wall of text like this, all that tells me is the last thing I want is to split into more players. Let me consolidate. Let me get Chase in the shallow format and get the best player in the deal. But Malik Neighbors is nice.
It is interesting, I will say, because if you look at the wide receiver room, he does have London and AJ Brown right now as pretty much his two best assets, right? Outside of, because I'm not really going to consider Worthy and Keon Coleman and Michael Wilson. Yeah, right now while Marv's out, right? And it's probably nice to get off of that Marv if you have Michael Wilson. That way you can make the bet one way or another. But London, AJ Brown doesn't really make you feel too good. When they're playing, yes, but right now with London being out the last couple of weeks, I know that's probably been something a little difficult. So Jamar Chase, just significantly improves this team significantly as soon as he enters that lineup.
Yeah.
He's got Bowers, he's got May, Mahomes, Etienne, Breece Hall. It's a pretty good starting lineup. This just solidifies, when you're playing in these shallow formats like this, the more studs you have, the better.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the reality, is the more of them you have, the better. And the more that you can deploy those guys and not have to deploy Michael Wilson. Great. Wonderful.
All right. So shout out Dynasty Deal Show. We do it every Friday. But YouTube keeps deleting comments. And Roy G, I got to get him on the show because he put something in DDS and YouTube put him into the ether. It shadow banned his comment there. But Roy got one done here with our guy, Dino Mitch, Dino MC, 12 by 12 Superflex lineup league, a 1-point tight end premium and a 0.4 point per first down. Okay, so this league has rookie picks or the rookie draft prior to the NFL. So the late picks below don't consider them as valuable. To start 4 wide receiver, or start 3 running back league. So he feels Gibbs is even more of a premium asset. So Roy sent away Odunze. I'm assuming that's his 26th first, a 26th first of B. Hartley 4144, and a 26th third. He got Gibbs and old Deebo Samuel. Brandon, Gibbs, start 3 running backs, 12 by 12. He'd be pretty valuable, but also, having a full lineup is also important here. Odunze, 2 firsts and a third for Gibbs and Deebo.
You said 12 by 12, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, give me the Rome side. I know, it's hot takey. What are you talking about? That's crazy. You just said Gibbs was one of the best players, in the league.
26 firsts suck.
Yeah, 26 first. But in a start 4 wide receivers, start 3 running backs, one of the things that I found to be interesting is in the leagues where the hammer running backs aren't, those are the teams that are the most successful. Because they don't think about, they tend to run into I'm just going to find a whole bunch of running backs and I'm going to make it work. Whereas with Jahmyr, and don't get me wrong, Jahmyr Gibbs is great. This is not a Jahmyr Gibbs smear campaign, but those two, that's a high premium for a running back like Jahmyr Gibbs. Is he worthy of it? Yes. Even if you want to just say Rome for Deebo, even if you don't like Rome, if you're on the farthest the farthest anti-Rome, and Rome is equal to Deebo, it's 2 firsts and a third for Gibbs. That's a fair price, right? That's a fair sell price and a 12 by 12. So yeah. I'm not, again, I know that it's going to be, people will probably flame me for it, and it's perfectly fine. It's okay. But in a 12 by 12, I can do a lot more with those 2 firsts than I probably can. The return that I can get on those 2 firsts is probably far deeper and wider than whatever I'm going to sell. Because I'm going to sell Gibbs. What are you going to do? Sell him for Cam Scattaboo in a first? That's not fun. Nobody's going to do that. You know what I mean? Whereas with that 26 first, I might be able to buy 2 running backs. I could get Jalen Warren and pick another RB2. And I can have 2 starting running backs, even though it is a 12 by 12 and a start 3 running back. I could do something like that. I don't, I think it's actually fun that you have the draft before the NFL draft, because I could just kind of build the way I want to build, and let's get your guy season in those drafts. As Gabe and I have been in a few of those. Like, it's just get your guy season and pray. But I get what he is definitely
that Malik Willis 101.
Yeah, baby.
I wasn't going to bring it up, but since you did,
Matt Corral,
Matt Corral 1-3. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. You're scratching an itch that you're getting PTSD.
Yep.
I get why Roy wants the safety net, to feel the comfortability of having Gibbs, but those 2 firsts and that 3rd and a 12, I see what Mitch is trying to do. Old Dynasty theory Mitch. I see what he's trying to do. He's cashing out Gibbs, even though he's a loyal Lions fan. He recognizes there's a value point where it's like, I need to consider getting out on Gibbs, because there is more that I can do with those 2 firsts and the 3rd.
Yeah. So Gabe, we shouts out to the All Gas Trade Show Premium Gas League. That's a start 3 running back league. I'm in another one of Sean's leagues, Fight Club. Having one of those hammer running backs, it does open up your construction, I feel, and it does make a difference having those access to those kind of running backs. This league's also a start 4 wide receiver league. If I could kind of transport myself into this league where I'm looking at, I gotta make these picks before the NFL does and everything put together, I feel like week to week, I could live with the Debo and Odunze swap in my lineup at wide receiver. I'm taking a bath value wise. Like, I'm losing that. But from a week to week, point to point, I can live with that. And if you're telling me that any kind of intel on those first, that they're not top 4, 26 first, and that 3rd, even in a 12 by 12, man, I feel like I'd pay that just to get Gibbs. I feel like that would make me more flexible. And Gabe, that's something that you talk about sometimes, right? Is like how does this deal and how does this construction open me up to be more flexible in subsequent deals?
Yeah, I mean, because again, to your point, I think at any given point you can get 2 firsts and a 3rd for Jahmyr Gibbs, right? So even if an injury were to occur, like he's still just that elite of a running back where you're able to really get that value and extract that at any given point. I will tell you, normally, like, I don't usually try to make draft picks just from the sake of, like, I always want to try to be as competitive as possible. And sometimes we really do have to give rookies, a fighting chance, right? And not be so quick to just write them off. That being said, though, I do get concerned when there are rookie drafts that are before the NFL draft, because no matter who, what, where, when, why, you're going to be wrong on somebody, right? As far as like in the draft. I mean, look at Shadur this past year. Like, it happens, man. It happens. And not knowing where these players go, like whenever these players get a landing spot, it makes such a huge difference on their value. It really does. Oh, they went to this team. Okay, that's a really good fit. Oh, they went to this team. That's not that great of a fit. Oh, they were a top 10 pick. Oh, they were a top 100 pick. Like, it makes a huge difference in how we perceive them from a fantasy football perspective. And so, I mean, yeah, man, I would want to try to de-risk myself a little bit. And again, maybe right now is not the best time to do that. So I am very mindful of that, right? You can always make these deals a little bit later. But if I'm Roy and Debo, who has been playing pretty good, obviously Jahmyr is fucking incredible. Outside of that, like, if these 2 guys really do help push this team forward towards where I am going to be competing, I am in the thick of it all, then, man, I'm okay, willing to make the pivot, especially because I believe I saw something that Odunze had like a fracture in his foot or so, right? I think, is that what I saw? Yeah, he has a stress fracture in his foot. It's considered a week to week. So good chance that, he may not play the rest of this fantasy football season, right? And so that's another thing that kind of look at there. If he's missing the rest of the season from a fantasy football perspective, it's not a guy that I'm wanting to hold on to right now if I'm trying to win and trying to be in the thick of it.
Yeah. This time of year, man, these deals can happen. We can get things done where we weren't able to do this even a couple weeks ago, but it makes sense today. And we got to make these bets. Fantasy football moves quicker than ever, I find, these days, but patience is also a virtue. And, doing things with a plan, like you said, Brandon, right? Like, it's more and more relevant these days. But Brandon, thanks for coming on with us. We just needed to confirm that you and Gabe were not the same person. We did.
Yep, can confirm that.
Where can people find you online there, old BG-C?
I mean, you can find me on X at the BG-C. You can come jump in the Discord. Links are below in the description. Like, listen, try it out for a month. Try it out. Like, there's from trades to bets to whatever, voice chats. I mean, we've got a very tight knit community, and I always say on Dynasty Takeaway shows on Monday nights, like, let's continue the conversations. Right? If you like what you saw here today, you like what you saw in the trades, like, let's continue the conversations. Why did I get to that point? What are the next subsequent moves? What is the next place that you can make a trade to really bolster your team? So come on over, have some fun.
100%. Gabe, I'm sure we'll make a trade after the show's over or something. So I'll talk with you later. But to all the people, thank you so much for tuning in this week. Patreon.com/all gas gets in the community. ddfantasyfootball.com for all those tools. You can sign up for that trade and chill tier. Get the sweatpants, drop them in the chat. Leave a like on the way out. Stick around next time and tap into everything DD has going on. Manic and Chill, Dynasty Theory, Brandon on literally every show that's popping right now. So keep your eyes out. Much love. Stay safe and good luck this week 14. We out of this thing. Peace.